Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. It's Jim Hacking. I hope you all are doing well. I am at my house in my kids' room and I found this hat, so I thought I'd wear it. Friday special. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all had a great week. This is episode number 332 of the Immigration Answer Show. I'll be here for the next hour answering as many of your immigration law related questions as possible. I hope you all had a good day. I hope you all had a good week. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're watching from. Viala Mesa is watching in Frisco and likes the fedora. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as possible, so I'm not going to talk too much beforehand. Looks like Tony's ready to go. Let's see what Tony has to say. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
How are you? I can. How you doing?
Okay, great. I love your hat, by the way.
I do too.
So let me just preface this by saying that I had actually called your firm and I spoke with Andrew Bloomberg,
Okay.
but I just had a few follow-up questions.
Okay, sure.
So just a quick recap of my current situation is that applying for my wife through green card based, marriage-based green card. So everything's filed. My I-130 got approved. Work authorization got approved. Everything is approved except the adjustment of status, I-45. So everything seems to be on track, except I got a notice that they wanted the I-693, the medical exam, to be submitted. There was an RFE, which I did because originally I was expecting an interview. So wait until you get prompted for the interview, then do the medical exam.
Sure.
But in this case, I suspect, and maybe I'm wrong, that I might be one of the people that are on an interview waiver or whatnot.
That's right. Sounds like it.
Yeah. So long story short, the deadline was December 20th. They sent me the notice on November 17th of 2022. Deadline was December 20th. I got it done, and exactly what they said, sealed envelope with a cover letter on top, mailed in U.S. priority mail with delivery confirmation and whatnot. It shows, the tracking shows that it arrived at the South Carolina office on December 12th. So plenty of time before the December 20th deadline. However, recently, March 10th, I just got a notice saying that case denied. And the reason they cited for that was because they said I did not provide the RFE 693 as evidence, which, and it just completely, shocked me because I did. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody, obviously, right? You call the number, it's an automated line. You try to talk to Emma, and I think I maybe tried to talk to a tier one person, which they told me, hey, you have to follow the official letter that was mailed to me because that's automatically generated, right? So March 10th, a decision was made that it was case denied. Oddly enough, within just a few hours, the case status changed again, back to cases actively being reviewed. But it's already too late because the letter is automatically generated and that got sent to me. And that's the official letter from USCIS, about my, even though online the case status is case is actively being reviewed. Now I'm confused. What is the actual case status? I have no idea. So I talked to Andrew. Andrew said, yeah, you should be somewhat cautious and still proceed as if, the denial is valid. But it may be a mistake. And that, due to COVID times now, the 30 days to respond back to, if I want to file an I-290B, a motion to reconsider, instead of 30 days or 33 days, it could be 90 days now due to COVID.
Because it was before today. Today, the 60-day extension ends today.
Right. So I am going to do that. So I'm going to start looking into the I-290B form and just get things ready.
That sucks. That sucks. Yeah. What was this, a field office or a service center?
Greer, South Carolina. And so Andrew has said that they have had clients who have had issues before sending the stuff. I mean, if you check the USPS tracking mail, it says it arrived in their mailroom. It was
At the
received.
field office.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I I don't know what's going on. Like everything seemed smooth until this step, and they said I didn't submit it. But why would I go through the trouble of all those other applications and not submit the medical exam? You know, I did it, and there's proof. So, but he suggested that I wait. Just wait for the month of April. Maybe things will resolve themselves. Maybe they'll, the person who's looking at my case, the agent, will find the file and then, proceed on. If not, then around May 1st, he recommends that I should file the I-290B, and then submit as proof a copy of the medical exam, which I have, and also the USPS tracking number that shows delivery to that office, shows as being delivered as evidence that I did my part in terms of due diligence and submitting the paperwork in. So that's my plan. But I saw some of your other videos and whatnot. I know that you said that you should start also looking into the G639 Freedom of Information Act if if a case is denied, to find out more details about that. Is that
I have
too
a,
short to
I have
do
a,
that?
I have a little different plan if you're willing.
Okay.
Um, I think it's worth your while to take a copy of the medical, the RFE, and the proof of delivery and drive to the field office. Is it far for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in DC, so South Carolina, I don't know.
Oh,
Shit.
God, what morons. What freaking morons they are.
I hope they're not watching the show.
Oh, well, no, they're morons. There's no doubt about it. See, here's the thing. When you first started telling your story, I was going to say, for the first 15 years that I was an immigration lawyer, everybody got an interview, and
Mhm.
their procedures are all built about everybody getting an interview.
Right.
They're trying to clear their backlog by taking easier cases and approving them without an interview. But I've heard more horror stories like yours than I've heard of people. I've heard as many horror stories as I have of people um, where it worked out. I wouldn't mess with the FOIA. That you know what they did? They just made a mistake. They lost the medical, or they
Right.
lost the R. They
But
never
Andrew
got the
said that
RP.
they would never admit to that. The only thing that would happen is that they may send a letter to say, "Hey, do another medical exam," because the medical exam is sealed, right? You have to submit it sealed. So
Right.
you just pay $300 or something out of pocket to do the medical exam and resend it again. But there's no guarantee that the second time, they'll receive it. Hopefully they'll receive it, but
What was the real deadline in the RFE? The real stated deadline.
December 20th was
Okay.
in the original, and I sent it in. It was received by December 12th. It actually tried to go into the office earlier, but it must have been a weekend or something, and the mail kept trying to redeliver to the mailroom a few times before they actually confirmed delivery on December 12th.
That happens. Um, I don't know. I think all you can do, I guess, is the 290B, and I guess I would do it sooner rather than later. You could wait to see if you can save the money. It's so ridiculous that you have to even worry about this, but I don't know what other choice you have other than to refile, and you don't want to do that.
Right. So I mean, so I do have more than the 30 days that they said I officially had on the letter, right? So I could
Mhm.
get everything worked up and with the 290B, have it ready to go, and say like by May 1st or somewhere around there. If I don't, there's, I still don't hear anything, go ahead and send that in. And
How much is it to the motion to reopen? It's like six or 700.
675,
Yeah.
$675.
So I might do it sooner rather than later, unless that's tight for you to spend that. I know you don't want to spend the money, but it might get you your green card a whole lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, the EAD is good until March of 2024. So
Okay.
there's not I'm just worried about, the due diligence on my end, making sure
Yeah,
that
you're fine. The other thing you might do is you might just write a letter explaining them everything that happened and send it by Federal Express. I hate the post office. I don't ever use the post office.
okay.
By Federal Express to the
Okay.
field office director
Uh-huh.
of that field office, and just tell them everything that happened. They can fix it if they want to without you having to spend the money on the 290B. It might be worth the letter. I mean, you're gonna have to do a timeline anyway. for
Okay.
your motion. You might as well do that now. Don't make
Okay.
it a formal motion. Just make it a cover letter. Send it to them by Federal Express and say, look, I'll do what I have to do to get my green card, but you guys really screwed this up. This is not my mistake. I shouldn't have to spend $700 plus redo my medical for $300. I shouldn't have to spend $1,000 to fix your mistake.
Right. Right.
See
Okay.
what happens.
Okay. I'll try that. I'll try that. So okay. So that's fine. So this is another question that kind of pertains to this, but I also read in one of your emails saying that um, if you get a green card, if the green card um, date issuance date is at two at the time they issue it to you is after 2 years of your marriage, then that green card is actually um, it doesn't have the 2 year restriction on that green
True.
card. So in some ways, okay, my fiance, my wife and I married April 30th, 2021. If I go past that and I actually get the green card on
Then
May,
you get a 10-year green card. You don't have to spend. You don't have to do a 751.
so in
Yeah,
some ways, an actual kind of like funny how things work. If it's actually delayed a little bit, it's actually even better to in my situation, right? Or
that's an optimistic way of looking at it. And it's sort of the reward you get for having waited for them for so long. But yeah, that's true. And the filing fee, the filing fee for a 751 is just about the same.
Mhm.
So you might wait until May 1st to file the
Yeah,
290B and then
so
see what happens.
that's kind of what I'm juggling back and forth in
Yeah,
terms of
I
what
get
to
that.
do. But I
Yeah.
like your idea about the cover letter, to the field office.
Yeah, to me, I'd want to have that green card in hand. I wouldn't play too many games with it. I would just push it in. And even if you do a 290B, I'd send a courtesy copy to the field office director because it might get done faster if it's still there than if it has to go back to the service center.
Okay, field office director. Okay, specifically
Mhm.
in that person's name, in her.
I don't know that you're going to have a hard time finding their name. They used to publish that, but under Trump, they hid all that stuff. So I don't know if you can see. I guess it would be on the denial notice.
Yeah, I think there's a specific person's name on the RFE and also on the denial notice.
Yeah.
So I'll reference that name. Attention to that person. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Tony.
much. Yeah,
All right.
appreciate it.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Let us know what happens.
Okay, will do. I appreciate
All
all
right.
you do, James. Have a
Sure,
good
buddy.
weekend.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right. That was Tony. Boy, that's a sucky situation. And for the record, that's how USCIS is. That they can't even get a request for evidence response that they said send us your medical. Happens in every single green card case. They can't walk it down from the mailroom to the officer who has Tony's case. That is how incompetent they are. That is the agency that we're dealing with. All of you guys think this is like some big, well-oiled machine. It is not. This is an example. Tony's story is a story that we hear every single day of how silly they are and how ineffective they are. Alejandra's here. Hi, Alejandra.
Hi, Jim. Nice to talk to you again.
How you doing?
Good, good. Um, so I have been talking to you, of course, so many times, but actually, in this case, I'll do a little recap. I just start my process through marriage, right?
Mhm.
I just got married on 2018, and after so many issues, I got denial in my I-485 the same day they approved my I-130.
Mhm.
Because a criminal case.
Mhm.
So I know maybe you are maybe remember
Sort of.
something
I
about it.
remember. I remember there. I
Yeah,
remember there being a criminal issue.
yeah,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
remember being
So
surprised that they
actually,
denied the
yes.
45.
Now, yeah, I send the I-290B back in August. It's already 6 months. I didn't hear anything about it. I know that maybe could take months, even years, right? So I'm working in the new case, but the weird thing is that when I got the denial, they say that of course I don't get any benefit. I mean, I'm talking about the work permit. But 3 days after I got the work permit, right?
Haha.
For two
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
And I'm using it, right? But I'm struggling with my lawyer because when I talked to her a couple months ago, she said that if I use that work permit, I'll mess up my new case. So she's asking me for a sponsor now. So that is like not make sense for me because I'm working, So I don't know what I should do if I have to file that by my own with because I can prove that I can pay bills and everything, the taxes, or I should find a sponsor. So I don't know what to do.
So this is a green card based on marriage, right?
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter if you're the beneficiary, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or if you have 10 cents in the bank. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter if you're working or not. It's all about your spouse's ability to support you. So even if you had a job where you made $10,000 a month, it doesn't matter, and you need a co-sponsor.
Okay, so I actually need the sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If your spouse
So
doesn't make enough, if your spouse doesn't make enough money.
yeah, that's right. But actually, yes, of course I need a sponsor. But they won't ask me anything about the work permit or anything related taxes or something like that.
Well, you're married to a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
So if you work without authorization and you're married to a U.S. citizen, that won't screw up your green card case.
Okay, so what my lawyer said is like completely wrong. I
I wouldn't
mean,
say completely wrong. What they're saying is that the best thing for you to do would be to not work. There's no doubt. It's better for you not to work
okay.
than with it. What I'm saying is if you do work without permission and you're married to a US citizen, your work without permission is forgiven.
No, I mean, I'm working with the AD that they provide to me, but it was
Right,
attached
right.
with
But
the
I'm fast forwarding to your green card
oh,
interview.
got it.
So we're at your green card interview. Alejandra says, "Yeah, I've been working. I've been working since I got here, or I've been working throughout the time. Both of my cases were pending." And they're like, "Well, you really shouldn't have done that," but they can't deny you because of that.
Oh, got it. Okay. So another thing is that actually, for the criminal case, of course, they give me 2 years of probation, right? But the first year, just I completed, the other one they remove it because my good behavior and because I complete everything, right? But
Okay.
the actual charges are until September of this year.
Hmm.
So, you think that I should file until that be done or
I,
before?
I can't tell you that on a phone call like this. I'd have to
Oh,
look everything
got it.
over. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
it's too
So,
complicated.
okay, got it. Okay, yeah,
Thanks,
that will be
Alejandra. Have
all.
a good
Thank
day.
you. I appreciate
See
it.
ya.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye. All right, all right. Hey, everybody, if you haven't already, let us know where you're watching from. I saw Maria had some comments for Tony. I had the same situation as Tony S. We got RFE, the USCIS denied our case saying we didn't send the documents, but we did. What we did is we sent the I-290B. That's the motion to reopen or reconsider. They've reopened our case and approved the green card. That's great. So I think that's what Tony's thinking, Maria. He's just trying to figure out the timing of it all. That's all. So I think we're all sort of on the same page. All right. Let's see what Ranesh has to say. Hi, Ranesh.
Hey Jim, we're calling in again. So again, thank you for all you've done. I watched your video recently about permission to travel. I'm not sure if you remember, but I have lawyers from my school. It's a law clinic, and they don't recommend or they don't want us to file permission to travel because we don't have any humanitarian reasons. So I watched a couple of your videos about applying for authorization to work and travel at the same time. And I'm wondering if I do need a humanitarian reason or I can just apply to travel.
What kind of a case are you applying for adjustment on?
Marriage based green card.
And they're saying that you need a humanitarian reason to use advanced parole.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
People get advanced parole for whatever reason they want. We just say we just put visit family. There's all kinds of reasons. You don't need a humanitarian. If you're talking about lawyers that work in a clinic, then they're probably used to advanced parole for DACA recipients who would need a humanitarian reason to go back home. They probably are just well-meaning, but just don't know what they're talking about.
The one we're working closely with is a student, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. So what the hell? They're full of shit.
Okay. Another question you have is, so I took my medical because I heard about getting your interviews waived. I took it sometime in was it March or it expires in April 19 basically, and our sponsor is getting his documents done this week. I was just wondering, when is the latest we can file? Because 60 days from my medical date where the signature was signed is April 19th, but I was wondering if that's the last date I can file, or if that's the last date it has to reach the office.
The best day to file it is yesterday, so don't cut it too close. Get it done like today or tomorrow. Don't cut it too close. At the very least, don't send it later than April 12th.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much. You have a great rest of your week.
Bye, Ranesh. See you, buddy.
Bye. Will do.
All right, my friend Saeed's here. What do you say, Saeed? How you doing? Assalamu alaikum. I saw your Ramadan blessings. Thank you for that. I hope all is well. Post your question and I will get to it. Let me see if you're in the waiting room. Nope, you're not in the waiting room. So Saeed, just lay it on me and I will get to it. Ken, I see you driving. I can't talk to people that are driving. Juan, hello.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Great.
Thank you so much for hosting this. Me and my wife are big fans of you, and she likes you a lot more than the lawyer that we hired. Just being honest. And
okay, awesome.
I
Well,
just
what can
have
I
a
help
quick
you with?
question.
Sure.
So we filed on March 7th, and to all our surprise, we got a really quick answer. Yesterday, we got an RFE saying that they looked at our case and our I-864 was like not good enough. They said they can determine that she was my wife legitimate sponsor, and we thought we met all the criteria, so we're kind of like in shock because
so
we looked at the guidelines.
How much did your wife make on her taxes each of the last 3 years?
That's probably the thing. Last year was 45.2. The year before was like $4,000. She barely didn't
That's
make
why
anything.
you need 3 good years.
Got it. So we already filed. We already had my mother-in-law is gonna sponsor, and she has like all the good years and everything. Do you honestly believe after that, should it go as fast as this? Like it should be going as fast, like 2 weeks for a response?
I mean, you haven't even had your fingerprints yet, have you?
No, sir.
Yeah. So, I just think all that is there's think of it this way. There's people who work at USCIS whose job it is to review the affidavits of support. They say, is everything here or is something missing? And they don't start processing the work card and the biometrics. They've changed their order of doing things, but if the I-64 is defective, then they're going to put the case on pause until they get back what they need. So it's actually probably going to slow down the case by a month or two because of this RFE, even though it came fast. So that's a good thing. Sometimes you wait 10 months, then you get the RFE, right? So at least there's that.
Got it. So we're looking into sending everything on Monday, like the new I-864, the new G28 for the lawyer and all that stuff. So I guess from then it's just waiting again.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate
it.
Got
it, Juan. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Good luck. All right. Ken pulled over. What do you say, Ken?
Hey, Jim. How you doing, sir? Can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Jim, I took my appointment to become a citizen on January 9th, and thank God I passed my interview. And they said I'm going to get oath letter by mail and also on the internet protocol. So July 21st, when I'm checking my online status case, it says oath ceremony. No, it says oath ceremony canceled.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it talks about let me see. We will notify you by mail if the appointment is rescheduled, a decision is made, or if the office needs something from you. So
that's unusual.
So I'm kind of worried about it.
What are you changing your name?
Yes, name change, yes.
That's probably why the name change. So I know this sounds strange, but they actually do a background check on the new name. So I bet that the new name, they haven't been able to finish the background check on the new name.
Okay.
That's the only time I've heard of oath ceremonies being canceled. I know it sounds ominous, but it just means they took you back out of the line because they aren't done doing their background check. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You're still not even at the 120 day. You're still not at the 120 day mark, which is sort of a big deal with them. So January 9th. So February, March, April, May. So you're about halfway through. I think you're okay. I think it'll reset in a couple weeks, I would think.
So maybe sometimes in April I might get a ceremony. Maybe
I hope
next month.
I hope.
Hopefully. Okay. So you're saying that they normally check the new names if there's something wrong with the new names?
Yeah, like one time I had this guy from Iraq who was changing his name to John Connor because he loved the movie The Terminator and John
Okay.
Connor. So I was just like, well, we got to do a background check on John Connor. So, I don't, it's sort of strange, but that's what they do.
Got you. Thank you, Jim, for your help and hard work. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Bye, Ken. See you, buddy. All right. Saeed, keep trying to get in. I'll get you in as soon as I see you in the waiting room. I'll pull you up, Saeed, as soon as I can. Let's see what Mahmoud has to say. Hi, Mahmoud.
Hi, Jim.
How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So, Jim, I got a question for my friend. He just don't want to come on the camera, which I do
Sure.
understand.
Sure.
So he has his daughter for 9 years. The daughter became citizen like 4 years ago. So, but the daughter was 17. So he was waiting for the daughter to become 21. So she just turned 21. So he needs the daughter to file for him. So he came with a B1, B2, and no criminal record, nothing. But he was just he just behind the scene. So he was just patiently waiting for his daughter to file for him without affecting for 9 years.
Well, the big question, whenever people have been here for a long time, when they've not had status, they came on a B1 and overstayed and never went back. The questions are always about working and about false claims to citizenship. So one thing that we'd want to be careful about is, did he ever tell anyone on a job application that he was already a US citizen? Because that's a problem, right? So as long as he didn't do that, then it should be fine. Because he's going to be the father of a US citizen. He's going to be an immediate relative. So any overstay or work that he did without permission, that'll all be forgiven. So I think it'll be okay as long as he doesn't have a false claim to citizenship.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you very much.
Thanks, yep. Mahmoud. See you, buddy. All right. That was Mahmoud. Oh, here we go. Here's Saeed. Hi, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, walaikum assalam. How are you?
How's
Jim?
Everything?
Great. Good to see you here.
Yeah, you're down in Florida?
I know, time flies, right?
For sure. Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Cannot believe it, of course. So I think it is time now. You helped us out with the green card too. Now my parents' citizenship is due, and we had some questions about it. I think.
Yeah, sure.
So I have everything written over here. 15th February 2019 is when they got their green card. And by last conversation we had, you said by 15th of August of this year, 4.5 years, we will be able to start the citizenship process. Now, they were interested in visiting Pakistan around December of this year. The question was, should we hold off and once we come back next year, let's say January, after 5 years, then apply for the citizenship? Or would that slow the process, which is just stick with the 15th August date and then?
Well, 15th August is just when we can actually start working on it. We can't file it until 90 days before. So okay. 90 days before would be January, December, November 15th.
Okay. Sounds good.
So how long of a trip in Pakistan? Like 2 weeks?
What, 2 weeks?
15 December to 15 January.
So a month.
Yeah, I would just do it when you come back then.
Okay, come back.
Because here's why. Yeah. I've had a few cases where somebody had a pending naturalization case and then they went back home to Pakistan.
Yeah.
The government gets a little bit worried about that because they feel like they can't do a background check on that trip. So we might as well wait until they get back and then do it. Yep, because that way they can do all the checks on all the travel before.
Okay. Now this trip is not really important. So in that case, if we can maybe start sooner and just stick with the November, we can do that too. That was just an option.
Yeah. Now, then the only other thing to remember is that once they become a citizen, they have to travel on their U.S. passport. So they'd have to. So if we applied in November, they'd probably get naturalized in March or April or June, and then
Yeah.
we'd have to wait a month to get the passport. So as
And
long
then
as he's okay, as long as he's okay with that, then I would put it off.
So he's like, if you
Okay.
can do it, then until March.
So we have to come apply for
American
November?
passport. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that case, just I know that we could have asked you, called your office too, but in that case,
Oh, it's okay.
we recommend getting an appointment with you now to get things started by August, or
Oh no,
just
August. We can't do anything until August.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you for
All right.
answering my questions.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you.
guys.
Okay.
Yep. Assalamu
Bye.
alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.
Oh, one of my favorites, the Makdooms. We had a lot of fun on those cases. All right, all right. Let's say hi to April. She's got a big smile on her face. What do you say, April?
Hi, James. I have a small question. So, as you know, we're out here on the road. We sent in our package and everything. I got my work permit, my work card in January. Because we heard of the interview waivers and everything, we did the medical. So we got it back in February. So it's just sitting. But I was hearing that they're saying that you about like 3 months or so, like 60 days with the signing and everything. So we're just waiting on the RFE. I wasn't sure if one, they're gonna send us a notification, or they're just gonna send it like in the mail, the RFE. If they're, because how would we know when we get it? Like, because we're out here on the road.
I would have waited to do the medical until they asked for it. But since you already did it and paid for it, you might as well send it in now and see what happens.
Okay. Just send it in without the RFE. Because I'm seeing online, because I got a deficiency notice when we got everything. We got this the deficiency notice for the medical, saying that that is missing, and they will request for it if there is a we should just bring it to the interview if there's an interview, or we should just like wait for like a RFE and things.
It's up to you. I would have waited to get it until I was asked to get it. But since you already got it, I don't want it to expire. So I would say that if you don't hear something from them in the next 2 weeks or so, then I would go ahead and just send it.
Okay. Do you think that would like throw the case off?
No.
No, because when we were watching the videos to compile it, most of the persons didn't put it in the first place because they didn't know that interview waivers were happening. So
Nobody did.
Right. So we left it out, and then after we put it in, that's when we heard that interview waivers are happening. So we're like, okay, let's hurry up and do it because we got the work card so quickly as well. We're like, well, because we're on the road, it's harder to schedule, like vaccines and stuff like that. So we wanted to just have it in case they message us. But it's going on to April and we haven't heard anything, and we don't want it to expire to pay to do over.
You might have to just because you did it early, but I would, like I said, if you don't hear something from them in a week or two, I would.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you, Jim.
All right. Bye, April. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Mike's here. What do you say, Mike? You're on mute, Mike.
Oh, hey, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. So I have some questions concerning the marriage-based green card. What happened is my girlfriend and I, she decided that marriage is the direction that she wants to go in. The only problem with me is I was here I'm still here actually on a student visa. I came to the US since August 2017. I went back to my home country to visit twice, but the last time I went back was in September 2019. So I've been physically present for more than 3 years now, I would say, in the US consistently. but I am out of status right now, and I'm in the process of getting reinstatement of status for my F1 visa. I was wondering if that would potentially hinder my marriage case. When I file the paperwork, like, what sort of stuff should I be concerned about?
Well, number one thing on the fraud checklist that USCIS
Yeah.
uses is whether the beneficiary is out of status. So the fact that you've been here out of status for a long time will cause them to do extra scrutiny on your case.
So I must mention I've been out of status between now and when the marriage date happens. It's gonna be, I would say, about 4 months of me being out of status.
Yeah, but it's just a yes or no. Was the person out of status?
Right.
If so, extra scrutiny. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
Right.
4 months, 4 months of being out of status versus 14 years of being out of status are two different things, but still.
So, what would your firm charge for a case like this? Like,
for a marriage-based green card case?
Yeah.
Until next week, it's $5,500. After next week, it'll be $5,700. So we have a payment plan and stuff, but it's $5,500 from now until you get the green card. And then on April 1st next week, our fees are going up $200 for everything.
All right, so that's going to be $5,700. Does that include the like everything, including the USCIS fees, or is that just
those are just legal?
All right. So how can you tell me how much it's going to be in total for your fees as well as the government's fees?
Oh, I'll have to get out my calculator. Hold on. I'm not good at math. So for the next week, it's 5,500 plus 535 plus 1225, 7260.
7260. Okay. All right. Also, I was wondering if this would be a problem. So I've been with my we already set a date for when we will get married, which is going to be around October, the end of October. That is going to make it essentially about 9 months of us actually being together, like knowing each other and being together. Do you think that's going to be a problem, or?
So now you're giving me another thing on the fraud checklist. Another thing on the fraud checklist is people that get married very fast. So I was going to ask you, why are you messing around with getting yourself reinstated? But if you can get yourself reinstated, that's a good thing. 9 months is not a long time unless you have some kind of a religious or cultural reason for explaining why you got married so fast.
I would say I would say it's definitely religious. Like in my religion, we don't believe in dating for a long period of time.
So you just got to prove that up at your interview. You got to be ready to talk about it, explain it, make sure that you're both on the same page. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you recommend that I pursue the reinstatement, or should I just remain out of status and go ahead with the?
I would if it's not too hard, I would pursue the reinstatement. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right, Jim. Well, that's all the questions that I. Also, sorry, just one more question. When I'm ready to begin the case with you guys, who do I get in contact with, and how do I pay?
Just call the office, and they'll let you talk to one of our lawyers. They'll set you up. They'll send you the contract, and we'll be off to the races. So just call or email the office and say, "My name is Mike. I've been on the show a few times with Jim, and I'm ready to get going."
Okay, nice. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for now, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
really
Mike.
Appreciate it.
See you, buddy. Okay. Have a good weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. That was Mike. Let's say hi to Bala. Hi, Bala. You're on mute.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How you doing?
Good. I got a friend who had an interview last week.
Okay.
The person has a I-751 pending. But he went for the citizenship interview. He passed the test and the civic test and the writing test, everything. But they said they could not make any decision until the officer received the I-751. And the I-751 is pending almost 16 months now,
Mm-hmm.
and it is in Nebraska. Do you know how long it's gonna take them to get the file?
So which field office was this?
Philadelphia.
So and did the person apply on the 3-year rule for citizenship?
Yes.
So let me walk it through. So your friend has received a green card based on marriage, filed an I-751. That's been pending for 16 months. Your friend didn't want to wait to apply for citizenship, so your friend went ahead and applied for citizenship. USCIS processed the citizenship case faster than the 751 case. Your man shows up at the Philadelphia field office. They're like, we'll do your naturalization case and see what happens. He passes the test. Everything looks good. And they're like, well, we'd approve it, but we don't have your stupid 751 file. Is that it?
Yes. Correct.
Idiots. So I mean, it's probably another 6 months before 6 or 8 months before they decide the 751. Now the nice thing is that if he's had his interview and 120 days have gone by from citizenship, he could sue for the 751 and the N400 and get it all done at once, which might be better than waiting 8 months or longer for the 751. I heard of this happening a while ago. I sort of thought that they had stopped this problem, but I've had my own cases where I've gone to a Nats interview and there's like back when 751s first started getting to be so slow, this was a problem. I haven't really heard of it being a problem since then.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be a one-off, but if 120 days go by from his naturalization interview, then he might want to just sue them for both being delayed.
Okay. Because even the officer that interviewed him told him that everything's okay, the marriage is real, because he didn't even the wife get into the interview room. So
I know it's so dumb because the officer will say like, I can't adjudicate the 751 because that's not here. It's so dumb, but that's what they say.
Okay. Because for a while he wasn't even seeing the tracking system into USCIS account. It disappeared, and after the interview, it came back saying, "Oh, you got your fingerprint printed, such date." So nothing. Even the interview still says, the interview was scheduled. So they didn't say if he passed the interview or he didn't pass the interview, but they gave him the interview notice that he passed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat that too much. I think he's done everything he can do. Now he's just waiting.
Okay.
Thanks, Bala.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, everybody. If you have a minute, if you could leave us a review, just go to reviewhackinglaw.com, leave us a review. I'm going to go for another 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to meet with our cabinet guy. I'm going to do a show tomorrow at noon tomorrow Central Time will be our next show. So I will post that here in a minute, but our next show will be tomorrow at noon Central. So hope to see you all there. I'm enjoying it while fasting. It's helping me stay focused. So our next show will be tomorrow at noon Central. All right, let's see what Abdul Rahman has to say. What do you say, Abdul Rahman?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How's it going?
Yeah, it's okay. How are you, Jim?
I'm great, thanks.
Well, my case is that my father is a U.S. citizen. He's from Egypt, and he was working in Saudi Arabia. He didn't go to the U.S. for a long time. He filed for me for a petition that I can. It's a family-based immigration visa.
Sure.
But I send the National Visa Center all of the financial and civil documents, but they are taking so long time to respond. They keep saying that we have processing time, and it's too crowded, and they didn't answer me.
When did he file your case?
In 2009.
Oh, wow. 2009?
Yeah. But I sent the documents maybe 6 months ago.
Why so long in between? That case should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, because I paid the fees twice. Yeah, the first time we didn't contact them for more than 1 year, so they terminated the fees. I had to pay it again. Um, then after it took about 6 months um, to send the documents, the financial and the civil documents. Yeah,
So are you sure that the case is still open?
yeah. I check online.
And what does it say?
They are reviewing the documents.
Okay, so have you ever had more than 1 year go by where you didn't talk to them at all?
Yeah, it happened once, and they said I have to pay the fees again, and I paid it.
When did
So
you pay
now
the
they
fees again?
um, maybe 7 months ago.
Okay. Okay. And have they said that they have all of your documents, or are they still trying to
So
figure out if you've given them everything?
I want to your to speed up the process, or
Yeah, we could take a look at it. This might be a good one to do a lawsuit on. It's a really
yeah.
old
So
case.
I should do a lawsuit.
Maybe. Yeah, I'd want to look everything over. I'd want to look at the timeline and see how much delay was our fault. But yeah, I think that might be a good lawsuit case.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
See
break.
what you can do for me.
Okay, great. Send us an email, Abdul Rahman. Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
Do you have the
Okay.
email?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you have our email address? I'm putting it on the
Yeah.
screen
I
right
have
now.
it. I have the
Okay.
website.
Okay. Thanks, bud. All right. All right. Let's see. Julie's here. Hi, Julie.
Hi. Hi, Jim. Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
having me on your show.
Sure.
I'm really good. So I have a question about the how do you call it again? F1 visa that I used to have. So I
Okay.
entered the US on F1 in December 20th, 2016. Um, and in July 17, 2017, I applied for asylum.
Okay.
And during that time, I was off school because of summertime, and school was supposed to start in September or August 2017, but I did not go back to that school. And I did continue with another school, but I didn't have an F1 anymore. So I didn't
Okay.
reapply for F1. And I was just wondering if I run out of status or not.
Well, you don't have, if you're not going to school, the only status you have is your pending asylum case. You don't have anything else. So that's not true status. That's
Mhm.
them letting you stay here while they figure out whether or not to kick you out.
Do you think that for purpose of changing my not my immigrant status, if I want to apply, for example, for a green card, would I have to go out of the U.S. to actually get the green card, or with my case, I can actually get it in the U.S.?
A green card based on what?
If a family member sponsor me,
What kind of family member? A spouse?
my no, my brother.
Yeah, so brother cases are taking 14 years. There's a 14-year wait on visas, so that's probably not going to work.
Okay.
I mean, he can
Also,
file for you, but there's not going to be a visa available for you for at least 14, 15, 16 years.
okay. I also won the GV lottery in 2020, but then I went through the whole processing of it and to the interview. The um the officer that interviewed me told me to go back home that it would look at my case closer and like they will see if I can get a green card based on my F1 that was already expired, and
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting denial for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And I
because you
don't
weren't
know
in
if that
status.
was a case where, okay, so I cannot get a status in the US.
I think only through asylum
Okay.
or getting married to a U.S.
Thank
citizen.
you.
That's it.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, you got it, Julie.
Thank you.
Yep,
Bye. Thank you so much.
sure thing. All right, Devin's been waiting. Hi, Devin.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Thanks for having
Good.
me
How are you
here.
doing? Sure.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm always watching your shows whenever I'm at work, so it's an honor to be here right now.
Awesome.
Um,
What's up?
so I have filed for an I-130 through consular processing. Me and my
Mm.
wife. We've
Mm-hmm.
been waiting for about 10 months now. We filed June 1st. Honestly, the wait is unbearable, but
Mm.
I do know that it may be a bit too early to sue them right now. But when do you think is the earliest that we can sue them? Because I feel like it may go on and on, so I'm not too sure.
It's still stuck at USCIS.
Yeah.
I would say a year.
A year. So after a full year, let's say maybe, I don't know, like June 15th or something, if we still didn't hear anything back, we can go with the process of suing them.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. And around how much would that be total for me?
So the filing fee is $402, and by then our legal fee will go up. So right now our legal fee is $4,600. It'll be $4,800. So it'll be $5,202, $5,202.
Perfect. Thank you. And another question. So right now she's not in America. I am, but I do
Sure.
plan on having her come here to visit me. Maybe for about 80 days. Is that okay, or should she stay where she is right now? What do you think?
Does she have visa waiver? Is that why you're thinking under 90 days, or does she have a
Yeah,
visa?
she doesn't have any visa. Well, she can apply for a ESTA. She's been here before. But
Mhm.
yeah, I know it has to be under 90 days, but we want to be together as long as possible. So that's why I said about 80 days. Is that okay if we do that?
Yeah, and I have had clients who have long pending I-130s who happen to come on a visit visa or ESTA, and then while they're here, they decide to stay. So and just
Right.
do a green card here. So that has been known to happen. But remember, she can't have that intent when she comes through customs. That's got to be something that
Sure.
develops if she comes to the United States.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I have one more question. So
Sure.
I know that you say that there's a lot of like fraud or like a lot of frauds happening in Nigeria with those cases and stuff.
Mhm.
But my friend, she has a lot of truth. She's engaged to this Nigerian guy, and they want to get married as soon as possible. They filed an I-129 case.
Mm.
But the only reason the marriage will be here in America, not there. And the only reason they're not married yet is because they're waiting to hear something back from the USCIS in terms of their I-129. Is it possible that the Nigerian guy can come to America, they get married, and then file for the I-130 the next day while they live here?
Does he have a wait? Apply for what the next day? Apply for what the next day?
The I-130.
Yeah. So he can't. You can't do an I. You can't get married within 60 days of arrival, or you get in big trouble. So that would
Okay,
be a problem. And then the other
for
big
sure.
problem is a lot of times they won't give visit visas to men from Nigeria. So that's the other problem. So unless he already has that visa, that plan might not work.
Okay, perfect. I see. All right then. Well, so I'll wait until June. If we don't
Sure.
hear back from the USCIS, I will be coming back here, and then we can just go soon for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully you won't need us, but we'll be here if you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. Take care. Have a
Bye,
good day.
Devin. See you, bud. Have a good weekend. Thanks for the call. I see my man Housy's here. What's up, Housy? Housy, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. My internet's cutting out. I'm not sure.
How you doing, man?
I'll reply and just go back to at a later point, man. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, so we've reached out with Daniel, with Daxel, and then a lawyer rang us, rang me. We paid our initial fee and we're getting that
Oh,
process
great.
started. But
Nice.
one of the problems I'm thinking is for evidence wise, like under this circumstance, I can't even get a social right now. Like I'm in that
Yeah.
limbo stage where I can't do this, can't do that. and so I can't be on the lease, and I can't be on the bank account, and I can't, like, there's so much. So
Yeah, that's okay. Remember,
so how do you go
there's-
about getting evidence if you
well,
can't be on no like official paperwork? Like that?
remember, there's the evidence that we submit at the time of filing. Then there's the evidence that we submit at the time of the interview. So they understand. They understand that you can't get added to most accounts. So the big push now is focusing on proving the relationship. How long have you known each other? How much time have you spent together? How do we document that stuff? The other stuff, the lease and all that other stuff, that'll be for later for the interview.
Okay. Because when I was telling the lawyer, they're like, "Oh," they're asking me these questions, and I'm like, "Look, like, how do I gather this evidence when it's just like it's fresh because I'm in Oklahoma, and then secondly, I can't get a bank account and I can't get on the lease right now, even though I would, but I can't."
You might be able. I mean, there's probably some accounts you can open. Like, could you open a grocery store account, or get a library card, or get a driver's license? You know, it just.
I can't get a driver's license. You need a social.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just do what you can for now, and then how long have you been together with your spouse?
A few months.
Like not married. I mean, like together. Like, how long have you known each other?
I mean, I spoke to her when I was in Australia. But when I came here, like, we went together straight away, and then she reached back out, and so I've known her for a year, but we've probably been together for 4 months.
Yeah, just got to do what you can.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you can get affidavit supports with like friends and like people that know her, or people that know me whatsoever.
Yeah.
But you know, so we've already paid our stuff, and I'm waiting for. They said 24 to 48 hours. Give me a call. I've got the welcome email and everything, but they haven't reached out to give me a call. So
yeah, they will.
Yeah, that's cool. I just wanted to touch base with that because I was like, well, hang on. When I spoke to Daniel in the first initial call with the intake, then with the first lawyer that called me, I was, in a way, I was like, oh man, Jim didn't call me, but I know you don't do that sort of stuff. But yeah, he went through a couple of questions, right, and then he said, he asked me that, and I was like, hang on, how do we do that? It's not possible. Is that going to cause an RFE? Because how do they expect you to if they know that you can't get a social because you're not a citizen, then how do you go about doing that sort of stuff, gathering that evidence?
Well, 3 months is pretty fast, so we're going to have to give a good explanation for why it was so fast and all that stuff. So but that's part of why you hired us, is to get all that stuff. I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah, all right, no problem. That's basically it. And then as for the forms, are they going to be emailed to me? Because I've got my co-sponsor will be in Texas, but I'm in Oklahoma, so I've got to get that to them, right? Get them to fill out.
There's a little mini intake form for the co-sponsor, so we can get the forms ready.
Okay, so how long from now until when the stuff is sort of on file? Or?
Depends how fast you guys work, and how fast you get all the information back to them. Did they haven't sent you the intake forms yet?
And they gave me like a welcome form, and it has in that was a PDF file or whatever, which has her signatures and stuff that she signed when she paid the initial fee.
Oh yeah, no, that's not it. Yeah, they'll reach out to you next week, I'm sure.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, mate.
See you, buddy.
What's with the hat, by the way?
I found it. I was here at the house, so I found it. So I put it on to be silly.
Typical New York Jets hat.
See you, man.
See you, mate.
All right, that's our old pal Housey. I think we got time for one more. Let's see what Daria has to say. Hi, Daria.
Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Sure.
Fine, thank you. I have two small questions. One about my case. Our 140 is 1 second. Our 140 is approved, and we got medical RFE for our 485. We sent them, and since it arrived to USCIS, I never got those, this like acceptance letter, and never got any changes in case. 71 days have passed. Can I do something, or should I just simply wait?
I think you gotta wait.
Just wait. Even doesn't make sense to make a service request by chat or by phone call?
You can. It probably won't do anything.
How much time do you think I'm sorry. How much time
That's
will
okay.
it take for them to answer?
I'd give them 6 months.
6 months to answer.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. And one more question, please. This is about my friend's case. She passed boundary with Mexico illegally, no, like past the
Mhm.
boundary, and she immediately applied like for asylum
Mhm.
there. So if she marries a green card holder, will she be able to adjust status like family based, or she must marry only U.S. citizen to do this?
Her case will take so long that she'll probably be able to do it all as the spouse of a U.S. citizen. The case will probably drag on, the asylum case, while. Are you driving?
No, I'm waiting for Costco.
Okay.
I'm in the
Oh,
Costco
for the
gasoline
gas
station,
line?
so a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
drive a little bit.
Yeah.
Just all right. Tell me.
Yeah, so the person will probably become a U.S. citizen before their case is over, so it should be fine.
Got it. And if not, if this person will not become U.S. citizen, if it's just a green card holder, is it possible or it's impossible?
It'd be hard. I mean, either way, they're going to have to leave the United States because they entered without inspection. So it's possible, but it's not going to be fun.
Got it. So if she marries a green card holder, to apply for adjustment of status, she should leave and apply through consular process.
No, don't leave. She would need to get a waiver first. So there's lots of steps. If this person is seriously thinking about doing this, they need to talk to a lawyer.
Got it. So it's not an easy.
Mm-mm. Oh, we lost you, Daria. We lost your audio.
Do you really believe that this? Because RFE itself says that if in 60 days you do not hear anything from us, you could make us a service request.
Yeah, go ahead. Just don't get your hopes up.
So just try to do the service request, yes?
Yeah, sure.
But obviously it doesn't make sense to sue or anything. It's just not enough time have passed. And
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will try to do service request. Thank you for your help.
Bye, Daria. See ya.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. I won't have my hat on tomorrow, but we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.